All right, all right, all right. Lawrence, how are we today? Living the dream.
Good. How you doing, man?
Incredible. Best day of my life. Thank you for asking.
I knew that was coming.
Don't judge me.
Oh, I'm judging.
All
Hard.
right, guys. What's up? What do we got today?
What's going on?
This is it. Let's do it. Who's going first?
Yeah, I'll start.
Go, Kel.
I just got a text about an hour ago about all the Christmas plans, wanting to switch weekends or whatever. Yeah, I'm just I don't even know where to begin. You know, like I've been wanting to talk to her about doing making a plan, and it's been the same old
Fucking care ones.
ignoring me and beating around the bush and not wanting to plan, and then now she's wanting to switch weekends and do it. Yeah, so I don't even know what my question is really. How do I?
Well, first things first, whenever you have something that you need to schedule and organize, you schedule and organize it. And if she's not getting on board with that, you can still do that, right? So now she's been ignoring your messages. You've been sending out requests for, I don't know how long, 3 weeks, whatever. Then you can say if that works or that doesn't work, or why don't we all get together?
That's what I was shooting for. That's what I'd like to, I mean, ideally I'd like to spend Christmas
I know you
as
would.
a family.
I know we all know that, Kelly. That's obvious, right? But what you've got to do is stop waiting for her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Your message can be more clear. Hey, listen, we need to organize Christmas if we're not going to do this together. By the way, I'd love it if we did it together. But if not, what are your thoughts? I'm making plans. And you're letting her know that you don't need her to make the plans. Right? You can even go further, right? I'm cooking my turkey on, obviously, Christmas Day, right? Planning to eat at, what, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
I don't know,
So make the plans and just invite her on board.
Yeah. What if we're not doing it together, obviously you're going to have the kids for Christmas Eve. I'd like to have them for Christmas Day. I've been organized for 3 weeks. She's obviously been thinking about things. Move it along. See what's going to happen. You're not going to agree because you're both going to want the kids, and this is the first time. So you're not going to agree. But that disagreement can cause you to agree on spending the time together. Neither of you are seeing anybody else. It's awkward for the children already. It's not been that long. So go for it.
All right. And that's another, and I know this is, I've kind of figured out that I go through these cycles. I go a couple weeks without having any of these selfish thoughts, whatever you want to call them. But the last couple of days have been pretty deep in this. It's not even like I'm mad at her or anything. It's not this resentment. It's just I guess like a fatigue, like I'm the me part of it, like I'm just getting to a point where like I'm on this fence, like I'm just man, I'm getting.
Are you going back to? Well, first of all, I want to go back to what you said a minute ago. To what's selfish? Are you talking about selfish for wanting your kids?
No. I'm talking about selfish for wanting to just
the being lonely and wanting to move on if she's not on board.
Right.
Okay. So this is the same thing. You're right. You go through this pattern. You have you have to decide if this is what I want or what I don't want. Right? You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. The lack of commitment all that stuff before, the comfortable, the complacency, the regular stuff is what caused this, right?
Right.
So you're not going to be able to show up truly authentic if you are authentically half out, but not presenting that.
Right.
She's going to see it anyway, right?
And
I think you just have to decide, man, like you love your wife, she's choosing a divorce. Are you still going to provide structure for marriage? Right? And it can't be because you're lonely, dude. If this is truly the woman that you love, then there's no rush. You shouldn't even want to fucking date right now. You know what I mean?
I don't. It's not about the being lonely. It's not about going and dating. I don't even know
Man,
what it's about. It's just
you got to figure it out because that's all it comes across every time. Because you're always like, I don't know, how long should I wait? Again, do you love her? Right? You just haven't had the opportunities to be able to show like everything that's new about you because she's being resistant, right? But you're also learning that you've kind of, not flown with the opportunities as well as you could have. It's all part of the game, part of learning, right? And so that alone should tell you, like, I got to keep trying. I'll spin it this way, right? If she died, that would be your focus right now. You'd be so miserable, right? But she's just choosing. So this rejection is what's causing you to think, oh man, I don't know. That shouldn't decide for you what you want.
Yeah, no, that's where I'm struggling. Is I want I don't know what I want. I want to be. I want my family back. I want my wife back. I want to keep pushing, but
so quit asking her for permission for everything. Start making it happen. Right? Remember that I'm going to go back to the dating example. You did like a 3-step plan a 2-step plan in 3.5-ish sort of thing, right? This Christmas thing, we're 3 weeks of asking for permission. It's your fucking children too. So make it happen, dude. Right? Get to a point where she's challenged. So she wants to challenge you and you get to show up. This isn't a control thing. This isn't a manipulation thing. This is literally showing up and going to get what you want. You know what she's going to say, at least at this stage, probably. So just assume the worst and go get what you want. Just, and part of it too, guys, is like, especially like we were talking about this with Andy a little bit. If you're not with your wife, and does she have the kids more right now, by the way? I can't remember.
Yeah, typically. I mean, it's pretty, yeah.
Yeah, so like that, things like that make it hard for men to get their holiday time. Like you guys have got to start. If you're not with your wife, you need to get a hold of spending time with your children. Plus, your children are your number one way to show up and show up as the new man. Your number one way. So first, you're sacrificing your time, which is suffering for your children. Secondly, sure, yourself, but we'll leave the children about them. Okay. Thirdly, that is an opportunity you're sacrificing every opportunity to show up, like at Christmas time, right? Don't let her say, no, I get the kids. This should be fair. Sometimes that could be Christmas Eve versus Christmas Day, but spending the night Christmas, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's you give them back at Christmas for Christmas morning, but then you would get some Christmas night. Like there's so many ways to be fair here. But when we don't see our children, we don't get it. When we don't, or we don't ask for it, we don't make it happen. We don't provide. And I admit, I'm going to make this very clear. Asking for it versus permission are two different things. One is providing structure and moving it. And one is waiting for her to decide, which is she. If she doesn't want to see you, what is she going to say? This is my year. Like you guys, you gotta move forward.
It's, like, so I'll put it like this. I was thinking about just some, man, I don't even know. I got some reflecting to do and some soul searching. I got to start making I just,
You,
I'm in a,
you might not agree, but I really do believe this is I want my family back, but I'm tired of being lonely. I think it's all blending in a lot more than you think.
it might be, it might be a bit of that. Just like, I'm starting to get triggered more often. I'm starting to get frustrated more often. I'm starting to, just,
It's
either
frustrating when you want to be.
I want to be on one side or the other. I'm getting sick of this, like.
Then we've had this talk with you several times. Do you remember you were one of the first guys coming in and going like, oh man, I want to create opportunities. Like you guys are so lucky. Like this was like, you were really vocal about it. And then this has spiraled you through this rejection pattern here, which sucks. Right. But it does affect your confidence. It does affect who you are. Maybe you're pretty comfortable with her. Sounds like a lot of times you are. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like making, $100,000 a year when you can make $1 million a year. When you're not showing up truly who you are all the time, it's not real with her, no matter how good you are. Right. You got to believe it in here. You know what I mean?
And that's kind of what I'm feeling, is that like, I'm feeling like the real me wouldn't put up with any of it. Just being flat out like, shit or get off the pot. The authentic me would be, I feel like I'm, I don't want to say betraying myself, but I feel like I'm not being the true me by.
Yeah, but the true you can be a shit or get off the pot kind of person, a decisive man. But the true you should also be reflective enough to go, why is she not decisive now? She doesn't file for divorce, but she says she wants one. What's going on? What was my responsibility in there? It's not shit or get off the pot does not apply in a situation where you can't decide what hurts her. That just doesn't work, man.
Right.
You hurt her. Now I know she hurt you too. I know there was lots of things both ways, but that's not how we do things. We take responsibility for what we can control, what we did wrong, and we can't decide what that pain is. Now, you're a great man if you've let go of everything she's ever done or said to you. Great man, right? But that doesn't mean you get to make her feel comfortable with forgiving, for loving, for wanting, for just letting everything go, shitting or getting off the pot. You don't get to decide that. She's her own person.
Right.
Right.
No, I totally agree with that.
So
I totally get that.
So if you get that, take it the next step then. How impatient are you going to be just because you're a shit or get off the pot kind of guy, in your words, right? This doesn't apply. This is not like making a decision if I'm going to go to the dirt bike track this weekend or if I'm going to start investing in this new house. Okay, I better decide if I want to buy this house. Got the relevant information. I just need to see it. I'm good to go. You wouldn't have been like that anyways, buying your first property at all. You would have second guessed everything. Shit or get off the pot kind of guy or not. And there's no pain involved in that decision except for the fear of loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just frustrating because you are different. You want to show up. You just wish it was easy. Yeah, let's get together for Christmas. Then she can see me for that whole day, and I can see her, and I get to show up. Naturally prove everything. So if we know that, do you agree with that right now?
Yeah, no, I do.
Okay. So if we know that, go fucking make it happen. Go back to what I said in the beginning. Go make it happen. Don't send a text message here. Don't call and get no answer. Go find out what's going on for Christmas. Be a shit or get off the pot kind of guy. You're hurting, dude. And so you're letting that guide you.
Yeah, maybe.
No, listen, the whole premise by the time we broke it down was that I'm a shit or get off the pot kind of guy. I want her to be that kind of woman, but we're just sitting there waiting for her. That's not shit or get off the pot. Just because you started something like sending a text message, let's say. This is where men get confused when we try to, because we're fixers. So you tried to do something, it didn't give you the result you want, so you get frustrated instead of going, what else can I do differently?
Well, yeah, and I literally, that phrase. I mean, almost every other hour. Like I'll come home, I'll sit down at my desk and read books, go over the reset, and I literally ask myself, what else can I do? What can I, and I'm just, I don't know. I'm.
It sounds like you're doing it, but now break it down. When you're not getting the result you want with something, break it down. Don't look at the big picture. That's why the reset's broken down into certain spots, certain first 3 pillars. Break those down into the different men in each pillar. Break those down into different lessons for each man. Right?
Well,
Same
let me
thing.
ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm there yet, but it slips in my mind every now and then about the leading with boundaries. Maybe I get on a phone call with Greg about this, but it pops into my head every now and then about getting on to just, like having a conversation like that, like just saying, listen, I don't even know where to go with it.
You wouldn't do a boundary with something like this, though. You do an ask, hey, babe, we're trying to plan things like Christmas. I really appreciate it. We can get back to each other. But you can't even do that if you're not actually trying to show up to do that. You see, like you got to do the little, like I said, break it down. Well, I'm not getting a response that I want, so what do I need to do? Okay. Right? I don't know, man. You could even go even further. Like rather than try to, maybe you just sent text, so maybe now you have to call. Maybe you send like a freaking Christmas card with the plan. I don't know. Get creative, man, or bring back some ideas. Let's go. The point is, you could even show up at the door. Like you're getting close to Christmas, right? And you're not planning. Probably she's not planning to be with you for Christmas. So don't wait, man. That's not really what we want to do as men who provide structure. So it's not that you're not doing great things, reading, doing the reset, being a man with purpose, all these things. But don't forget, there's all the little details that you can do. You got to go get what you want, Just like you say you were going to, start powerlifting instead. Well, if you didn't know anything about powerlifting, you wanted to switch from lifting to powerlifting. Well, you going to just keep talking about it and waiting, or are you going to go do it? So figure out what you're doing. One is doing it, fine, reset books. But when it involves her, you got to go get involved.
Yeah, take action.
So I would, the biggest takeaway that I'm getting from this right now, Kelly, is the first thing you need to do is make sure you're seeing your daughters split correctly, right?
That's a non-issue. We see the kids. We're good as far as the co-parenting, I guess you'd call it, goes.
So you're just happy seeing them 30% of the time, or what's your split? You made it sound like she saw them a lot more.
No, it's not that she sees them a lot more. I just meant it's pretty much, I don't want to call it a 50-50. I'd have to, calculate the hour, but like I pick them up from school. I see them all day until about 7-ish, until they go home.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So it's
yeah. So then if that's handled, that's under control, then it's not going to seem abnormal that you want to see them at Christmas time. So make that happen and use that as an opportunity to invite her. Let her run into the side of your car because she wants the kids, and then show up. Okay.
All right. I'll use that as a.
And let us know how it goes. I mean, optimally, if you're not doing Christmas together, optimally, then one of you would probably have Christmas Eve and Christmas morning, and one of you would get whatever lunchtime switch and get Christmas night. It just sucks, but it is the way it is.
Yeah. Right? No, I'll start there. I'll start with Christmas planning, and then we'll just go from there.
No matter what, your Christmas dinner, you can get organized, you can get set up, you can get going, right? And if it ends up having to be a Christmas breakfast, that's just something else you're doing, or Christmas Eve dinner instead of bumping up your plans. Like this doesn't have to be complicated for you. Now we got to get her involved.
Right, and I'll end it with this. It's not so much just the Christmas planning. That's kind of, it's on two different little. The Christmas planning is one thing that just kind of, like I said, triggered me, and it's that just came up today. But the bigger picture, the in general, the whole relationship thing is getting to I'm getting to a point where I'm just getting.
Listen, I understand you don't know, you're frustrated, and so you don't know what you want to do here. I think you do need to reflect deeper. Is it because I want my wife, or is it because I'm frustrated because she's rejecting me? Okay, you have to isolate this. Okay, number one. Number two, I'm just giving you a solution to help you solidify that. One of the problems is you don't get the opportunities because you don't take the opportunities, right? So go use Christmas. That's all.
All right.
It's a solution to help you process. Okay.
Gotcha.
Plus, it's needed. Fair?
Sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
You got it. Also, don't forget things like New Year's. There's lots going on over the holidays. You know, your kids aren't even in school, so it should be like, let's go, let's go, let's go. All right. Nathan, sorry. Go.
Hey, what's up, Kat?
Hey, man.
So I'd like to start with some wins.
Okay, go.
So lately, she's been pretty fucking awesome. She's been, thank you, I appreciate it. Last night she was going somewhere, and before she left, she came over and I gave her a big hug, and she squoze me tight. And so I squoze her tight back and leaned over, gave her a kiss on the top of the head, told her I love her, and she told me the same. And I've been going to the gym 5 days a week, full sets of reps, no fucking around, and I'm seeing better results than I've ever had.
Nice.
So things are on the. So my question is now. So she needs space a lot. She's bit a lot. She needs to process a lot, right? Last night when I first got home, she was sitting out in her car, and I walked up and I scared her, and she got all pissed off, and I'm like, ah, shit, I says, yeah, it did all jokes because I'm not sorry for messing. I have fun playing with her, right? But then I could tell she was upset, and I was like, "What's up, babe? You okay?" She said, she just kind of looks away, like, "What's on your mind?" I says, "I'm here for you. You can always talk to me." And she does not talk until she's 100% certain that I'm solid, right? That it's been long enough that she's seen changes, and then she'll start to open up to me. So I tried to get her to talk, and it was obvious she didn't want to talk. And, I know her. I can always tell if it's, I want you to make things better, I want you to listen, or I want to be left the fuck alone. And so last night I just told her, I says, all right, I can tell you don't want to, I can tell you want to be alone. You need a little bit of space. I says, I'll just be in the house and if you need me. Okay. And she smiled and I walked inside. Is there a better way I could have handled that?
Yeah. So first of all, if you know she doesn't like to be scared, I would never tickle or scare Catherine because she fucking hates it. If you know that, don't do it. Right?
So we've done this in the past, and it's not a thing. Just last night, she was upset and didn't like it.
Well, that's my next thing. So if you know she needs space, this is always a pattern. Is she's sitting in her car, taking a moment to collect herself, however many moments that is, just smile as you walk by. I'm going to be inside. Mouth it. Say it out loud. Don't yell it. She knows. Like, so you're just telling her a bunch of stuff she knows and a bunch of stuff that you know to show her that you're a good man and you're there for her. When if you just say, I love you, babe, and I'm going to be inside, she knows she can come to you. You just said she's already told you. She knows that you need to be in a certain place. So go show up doing the shit you need to do. Just get some shit handled.
Exactly what I did.
Yeah, perfect. But I wouldn't be communicating all of this stuff to her, right? Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely it does. Yeah. One other thing. So open-ended questions. When I give her open-ended questions, she's like, fuck, you sound like a therapist.
Yeah, so and a lot of women do. I think that's maybe some of their own. I think men do this too, but I think we hear it more from our wives. But I think it's just they're not used to you doing it, and they're used to you flying off. And so if you're talking differently, more calm, more in control of your emotions. It can be. It probably means you're not smiling enough or you're not being curious enough, but like in a friendly way. It could be coming across body language, using, for example, like, what's wrong, babe? When you know she's in a bad mood, it just still sounds like back when you were worried about taking everything so personal, right?
Yeah, I agree 100% there.
Yeah, so
100%.
it just probably means you need to be a little more friendly, a little more endearing. She knows you're available to talk to her if you do that, like little kiss on like I did to touch the window and like inside when you're ready, or making dinner for 6:00, like whatever, you know what I mean? Like just relax into it a bit more without sort of doing the I'm here for you. I'm here for you. It's not really saying that makes a woman know you're there. It's all the other actions. It's when she's talking to you, when she does come to you. I'll give you an example. Say you do it my way and she's not used to that. So she's going to come up to you potentially and be mad because you didn't even ask about my day, right? Would you like to tell me about it now, babe?
Yeah.
You don't have to defend yourself.
That's it.
Right? And the more that you have good conversations, the more that you're engaging well, the more natural it's all going to be, where you're not sweating it and she knows she can count on you. You didn't interrupt. You actively listened. You didn't piggyback off what she said and talk about your day. That's like the number one thing that we do when we come home, right? How is your day? Or is everything all right, baby? So upset. Man, if I see something's going on, I just know it's the kids have got Catherine wound up. That's what's happening. Could be all kinds of other things, right? But then just being friendly, curious, and not, what's up kind of the attitude, right? Then Catherine just eventually gets it all up, right? And usually I don't even have to say anything anymore. She just lets it out when she needs to let it out. You know what I mean? And then I show you in the resets sometimes where it's like, you I don't love this, but you might end up saying, hey, your frustration is affecting everybody right now. Like if it's getting out of control. But that's not very common anymore. The safer she feels, the less she has to explode, right? It's all about, just like with your kids in the tantrums, it's all about just getting it all out in the beginning, and then it kind of starts to get so much easier, right?
Right.
Okay.
So better if I walk in the house or whatever and she's upset a lot. A lot. No, and it's always been that way. No matter how good things are, I'll come home and she's upset. But things are good, man. I just walk in, I got a big smile on my face. Hey, babe, how's your day? And she's like, whatever, whoever kicks her on the head, love you, babe, and go and start fucking kicking ass. And pretty soon she's right there next to me.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it has to go here. Like if you think about, Greg would be a good example, right? His wife, just like Catherine, also gets overwhelmed with all of this stuff in life, right? And so by just providing the safe place to feel, the fun, I love you, not trying to fix everything, like stepping into potentially something that's like for me with the kids, I just step into the role and just make it easy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's not like I'm trying to fix anything. I'm going to go just be a man with kids. You know what I mean? Or an adult and take care of the kitchen or whatever. You know what I mean? Makes sense?
My biggest thing is trying to fix things. I'm fucking terrible at that.
Well, you're not alone. That's
horrible trying to fix things.
It's a damn man problem. It's why they say we don't see and hear them. So, I mean, even if you think about listening to your wife instead of fixing, most people don't even listen. They're actively thinking about the next thing they want to say. You guys ever wonder how when you guys ramble for 4 minutes, then I can go back to the beginning and say, I want to start there? It's because I learned to listen to my wife, right? And so it's the exact same thing with you guys. Instead of making a mental note of what you want to say, you should be learning this well enough to be able to listen respond, or say, I need a little bit more time. Or what was that thing you said in the beginning? It's not like I don't do that sometimes to you guys too, right? So when you can start doing stuff like that more, then she's going to feel like what you said earlier, where it was like she knows that I have to be in a good position, in a place where I can be able to be responsive, right? And so you're going to show her that by listening way faster than anything else.
Yeah, and honestly, last night when I went up and she didn't want to talk, I did. I felt shit come up, and I'm like, ugh. And I honestly started looking at that as, my old triggers coming up as what's wrong with me. And that's when I walked inside and I stopped and I was like, all right, this isn't about me. This is about her,
Potentially, but I'll go back to something else you said right after, was you spun whatever's going on with her day may have nothing to do with you. You spun it to, well, she knows that I need to be in a place to take it, which is really about criticism, really about me not being good enough, because she's always in a bad mood, right? So you've got to break this mind frame. Where do you want to go?
You're right.
Thank you.
You're right.
Thank you. I'm good on my job. Okay.
All right. Perfect.
Fair.
Thanks, Cass.
You got it, man. All right, Drew, you had your hand up. Drew, I see you're cruising through the reset here today.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Just wanted to kind of introduce myself real quick. So sorry I wasn't on the past couple meetings, stuff with work, but I tried to jump on audio-wise. But yeah, I've been listening to the lectures and stuff with working out, just put in my earbuds and I go. Just kind of want to make a brief introduction. So I did the Marriage Mastery program last year with Josh Hudson, learned some great things. Kind of in a really tough spot again. Long story short, wife filed for divorce back in September, hit me with a TRO, got dismissed to a no contact. She moved out. I'm in the house, have split custody, joint custody with our little one. She's 3. My wife is my kryptonite. I love her and she knows that. And we go with the no contact and, I've learned a lot about covert contracts and taking ownership. I'm on board with those things, but I find myself doing covert contract things again. Like, I made, Ariana and I, our little girl, we made a cake for her. So I gave it to her and like, hey, look what I did. Now give me something in return. Made her, made leftovers, gave her some leftovers during the exchange. Again, covert contract. So I'm getting impatient and frustrated. And then I get resentful. Like I get hot and cold. And then when I don't get what I want from this, because I can't stop a no-fault state legal divorce. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I'm just stuck in this. How do I fight for this? With the no contact. How do I get her to remember?
Let's break some of this down. So first and foremost, the ownership thing, right? You can't be taking true ownership if you're still focusing on where I'm stuck and how am I going to do this, right? Because we just want to go with the man that I want to be, the man that I'm proud of. So that leads us to your covert contracts. Now, if you can remove the frustration or the objection, the outcome, right? And just know that I was baking a cake with Ariana for her, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But you're still attaching it to, I hope this works. And we get screwed up there a little bit sometimes because you start the program, go get your wife, right? But you quickly learn she's only one relationship in your life. And she's the best one. She's the awesome one. But she's still just the racing stripes on the car. Your kids are the spoiler. Your family members could be the exhaust or whatever. The metaphor I used in the reset, right? When you start to realize all that, you'll start to really let go of those covert contracts. You'll start to just reflect and keep yourself in check. No, I want to see the smile on her face when she sees that cake. Now there's another covert contract. What if she doesn't smile, right? Right. That's okay. I bet you she's going to enjoy it. Just fucking imagine her enjoying it. It's a good cake. Right on. Or here's something even better. In this case, how much fun was it doing that with your daughter, dude?
It was amazing. I mean, we
look at your smile right now. Watch the recording back right now, or tomorrow, later today. Watch the recording back. Look at your smile. Yeah. That's about you. That has nothing to do with your wife. And I dare say even your daughter. At that moment, it's about how happy you were to be doing that with her. I want you to think about this. Watch the recording after. I want you to think about that when you're doing things, whatever it is, right? Whether it's like, some of the examples I always like to use that are simple that men don't think of is like, when you go to the park with your kids, am I doing it just to hear I'm a good dad? Fuck, I was guilty of that. Barely play with them, waiting for somebody to tell me that my kids were so cute. Well, man, I missed out on a lot, right? Some of these basic things will help you because, we're usually the worst with our wife, But sometimes that's the hardest one to break. And in your situation, of course, right? I got to get over this order. I've got the no fault divorce. Like I'm screwed. You're focused on that. But if you realize that it's happening in other areas of your life, right? Then what will happen is you'll start to break away from all that. And as you start to feel free and you're realizing you're just given, right? It will reflect and pour over with her, right? Because as you know, in the reset, I talk about doing things like that's a perfect example. I don't give that example in the reset, but bake a cake and give it to her, right? You can use your kids for that. It's fantastic, especially with the contact order, right? Last thing I want to tell you right now, too, Drew, is this. Don't worry about the divorce papers. I know we had a call about that stuff. It's so hard to imagine, but remember, almost everybody is doing it before they get married. Almost everybody is living together before they get married. And so the papers mean nothing. It's a blip in time compared to, right, decades and decades. So just try to relax with it. Try to focus on it. But you're absolutely right. If we don't address things like these covert contracts, or you might be keeping score now too, right? And so if we don't start addressing some of these things, you're just going to actually just really affect yourself deeper and deeper and deeper, which is why you were feeling really resistant about getting into the reset right after you started, right? Because of the way it went down with her, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it was the day after we went in our first co-parent counseling, and it was a complete disaster. And that's something I want to bring to the table too. Like if any guys want to jump in, like, okay, so now I don't believe in this divorce. This is her divorce. It's not mine. It's a piece of paper. I don't believe in it. But now I'm in this co-parent counseling with her, I'm a social worker with another social worker, and I have to pretend or play along about how our visions are going to go after the divorce and how our custody is going to go, how we're going to communicate when I don't believe in that. But I have to pretend like I have to, you know.
I would literally have so much fun with that, to be perfectly honest. This could be hard for you, okay, because you're in it, okay? But I would just have so much fun with it. I'd be like, yeah, you know, I guess if this divorce goes through, I guess ideally, you know, this is what I'd want, you know, or I can see where you're coming from. If the divorce comes through, get her going. If this divorce comes through, and just keep responding, not reacting, just keep, you know, providing instruction for what you want, where you want to go, you know, invoke curiosity. Well, why would you want to do that if we got divorced? Just keep fucking saying it, man. Have fun. You know what I mean? Because she knows that you've already puked it all over her that you believe in commitment. Right. So that's like an attack on her. So I just want her to keep hearing the positive, what you want, you know? And again, don't even like stress about it. Like if you need to start imagining, you know, the new wedding, you know, when we renew your vows or you get remarried, you know what I mean? Something like this, whatever will kind of help you get along with it. But remember, don't let her lead you. That's a big part of what we talked about. Don't let her lead you. Just because you're stuck doesn't mean you're like you have to do it per se her way.
Yeah.
Right. This will be same as the custody stuff that we've been talking about. Okay.
Yeah. Track. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Are you seeing Ariana lots?
Yeah. So we're on that 2-2-3 schedule, you know.
Okay.
So
I think I remember.
Yeah.
That.
So
okay.
Yeah. So things are good, you know, and we have that OFW app, you know. So I still send her pictures with us in it. Like I'm not trying to be covert about it, but like, hey, look what we're doing. Like I'm dressed up as a princess and shit, you know, I got my fucking wig on and my cape, and you know,
you're
I'm a girl
you're a better man than I. Excuse me. Are you allowed to send pictures to her, to your daughter through her?
Yeah. So the attorneys look at the app. So I mean, it's harmless. You know what I mean? So as long as it's like not contentious,
send as much as you're allowed to send. But doing different things that you can't wait to do with Ariana. I'm testing this out. I can't wait to try with you. You know, I don't know. I'll make this up. Like go-karting, for example, would be something I could do that with my son. Right. So like have fun with it. Hey, I just tried, like, you know how you like whatever she likes, macaroni and cheese. There's this new restaurant, and send all of this shit. Just be fucking awesome. Yeah. It'll help you connect with Ariana when you're not with her anyways. But also it just keeps putting it out there. You know, do the billboard trick. See a billboard, and I don't know if you've gone anywhere, but you know, you always want to go to Disneyland. Look at this. We should maybe talk about that in the future. You got to be careful though. Don't put a bunch of stuff in her head that you maybe can't afford or you can't do or was not possible.
Sure.
But, yeah, you see where I'm going with it though?
Yeah, I'm tracking.
Good.
So, thanks, guys. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, you got it. All right, Dennis, you're up.
Great. Things are moving forward pretty good. I used to be a fixer all the time. Being in sales, you always try to solve problems. One thing I put in my mind is if the shit is flying, the only thing I should fix is the toilet. But the next thing is the thank you. There's no thank you going on, and that's probably just my part that I should get things going like that. But just some advice real quick.
Like,
will she catch on to that if I start? Or
yeah. Gratitude is one of the easiest things for people to catch on to. Or if they don't, when we start to get to different stages, right, it's something that you can address as an invite quite easily, right? And I'll use the example we talked about with, I think it was Jeff the other day, with the trash, right? People complain about the one time the trash wasn't taken out, but then there's the 9 times it was and nobody said thank you. You start showing gratitude. Just like your lover's list, you start showing affirmations, right? You start telling her how fun it was for those little mini dates at home. It's going to remind her so that she doesn't need to have friends on your dates anymore. You see, all of this stuff is stuff that you can lead. I didn't make it up, man. Kill them with kindness. It absolutely works, right?
Yeah.
Or if some of your wives are quite mean, right, quite angry and let's say disrespectful, well, kindness doesn't always work. It actually makes them more mean, more angry. That's actually working. You just don't know it. It's making her reflect, saying, how can you be so nice to me? I'm being such a jerk, because she's trying to push your buttons. She's trying to make you more angry. And men would be guilty of doing this too. You guys have probably all been there. When Catherine used to say to me, thank you for whatever, and then I might feel like it was a personal attack, thinking just my brain, the way it worked, thinking that she was being passive aggressive or something like that. Okay. And then she would then in turn be like, hey, I'm on your team, which is exactly why I teach you guys that. Or she would laugh and say something in a funny way that would remind me that we're on a team. Right. So you can do all of the same things. That's exactly what leadership is. Being proud of who you want to be and using those tools and showing her what feels better. Gratitude's a problem. Go give her some gratitude.
So, yeah, okay. Because last night we were at a conference and there was 2 doors. So we were waiting at the wrong door. We were the first 10 and there was 300 people. So all of a sudden there's a 300 people lineup. And she's kind of panicking now. So I just go in front and I say, look, we've been here on the first 10 people. Do you mind if we get in when it gets started? Because the doors were still closed. And they said, yeah, okay. So she says, thank to them. And I'm thinking, well, geez, I made it happen. But that's something like you kind of do what should.
Yeah,
but things like that. Like you say, the garbage 9 times. And then
I want to break that down. So that might feel like a covert contract. Only if Dennis said, I can't wait to see her reaction. That could be okay if you're trying to surprise her. But no, if you're doing it deep down, then it's a covert contract. But if you just did it and then you noticed her thanking someone else, right? That can feel like what about me? And there's not necessarily a lot wrong with that. It's just it shouldn't really affect you. That's not what you did it for. So if you're not careful, you're making it a covert contract.
Right. But there's no thank you going back and forth. So I got to initiate that within the household. There's none. It's like the 9-time garbage and once missed, or leaving something in a sink, like just little things all the time.
Yeah. No, start thinking. That's why I have the text message templates there for you guys at the end. Start using that stuff if it's not natural for you, because you probably, aren't also just looking around noticing things, right? So I'll give you an example. Yesterday, Catherine got one of your wives in the program. I won't say who, but one of your wives in the program. It was somebody she just thought of, and I thanked her. I said, I'm so proud of you for always working so hard to help my guys' wives, because most of your wives aren't in, And so when you get good at it, you'll notice all the little things, right? And then you give her the real affirmation. So in the beginning, it might be easier to look at the text message templates and just start using them. It'll remind you what to say, when you're looking forward to something. It'll remind you when something happened. So during, it'll remind you for after something happened. Right? And you can spin all of this stuff to gratitude or to affirmations. You can spin it to structure for where you want to go, right? I.e., this is something I loved and I can't wait to do it. I booked us a blah, 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 you just use all of this until it's natural. This is one of the things that goes away from when you started dating. And so it becomes so unnatural. It's not because, here's why everybody always thinks, it's So hard, man. Like you just do what you're supposed to do when you date and it never works. That's because now you have the awkwardness. Now you have the rejection that's a little harder. Now you have the she brings up the past instead, right? So this is why I just tell you follow the steps and just do it in this order, because then when you're sending those messages, you've already been doing all these other things, right? We talked about gratitude in the beginning of the reset. We're sending these messages differently at the end. You see?
Yeah.
Makes sense?
And the template is where?
Those are in Man at Play. Text message templates. Yeah, just copy and paste. Yeah. There's lots in there that guys forget about, like game-changing gift giving. I don't know if you guys saw that, the pictures of, well, you've probably seen on social media now the dogs behind us. That was a painting that I got. That was 2 years, maybe 3. Like it might even be longer that Catherine told me she wanted these dogs painted. I didn't do it because I knew how important these 2 dogs were. So one of the dogs died a long time ago, but I knew it would be a beautiful picture to put them together because they both meant so much to her, right? With all the dogs you've had in the house. So game-changing gift giving. Go look at this section, guys, if you don't know. There's moves to make anywhere. Dare say that some of you with confidence problems should just try it for fun with or without your wife. Go to Target and do it. You know what I mean? Just start doing shit like that. It'll make you more confident because it's kind of like role play. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Once you practice it, you'll just feel stronger with it and better. It's like the first time she rejects you and you go out to dinner without her, you're afraid. But after a while, it's not so bad anymore because you're confident, right?
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
You got it. Okay, Dan, go for it.
Hey, Cass. So yeah, this is my first time on. Just working on going through the process that we've been working in. So my long story short, found out about an affair in October.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like it was emotional at this point. So I don't know for sure. But in any case, it created a lot of turmoil internally.
Yeah.
A lot of that just kind of the anxiety, the panic of like, oh, shoot, what's next or what's going on? And, my wife and I have been married for almost 10 years. And we have 3 kids. And so there's a lot at stake, right? In the sense of the kids and just like we have like really been grinding to get to where we were in our lives. And in her mind, it was always a situation where there was never really the spark that she thought she wanted. And so that's kind of where I think that's an area that I have been working towards. But then also one of the other big things is being confident to fight the anxiety. So,
okay. So
because
how far are you? And you're probably only a man in power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. So already just having, I really like that as a starting module, because one of the things that I don't tell you guys is when you start to realize some of the things you've been doing that are just such stupid mistakes, for example, right? Then what happens is you start to just feel better about who you are. You're taking responsibility. We're letting her go. We're like releasing her blame or blaming of her, sorry. So that kind of is a foundation thing. And then in the next module, there's going to be specific training. It's called anxiety training. You can already just take a break from Man with Power if you need to and go do the anxiety training, because you can start that 2, 3, 4 times a day if you want. And then there's some good readings, but I don't really want you to get into the readings yet with it. Just do my training, because my training is going to fuck you right up as soon as you see it. Listen to it. I mean, you're gonna hate it. You'll probably send a message saying "fuck you," but specifically be based off. Will's nodding his head like this. Specifically for anybody with insecurities, especially surrounded by cheating or knowledge of cheating, but it's like the number one problem, right? If our wife doesn't want us, we just can't.
Right.
So, anyways, take a break from Man in Power. Go do that training, and then you'll be able to go back to Man in Power. You'll know what to do with the training. There's a couple of guys that are really, well, actually, I won't introduce you to the guys yet for anxiety training or the other resources. You'll see them. We'll do that more once you get to that actual stage of the course, okay? Confidence will work on a lot more as you define who you are and why you make decisions in module 3. And we start talking about some of these covert contracts, and then you start reflecting back, because modules 1, 2, and 3 all work together to strictly help build your confidence, to make you make the right decisions, to stop going back into your blame cycle and patterns, and just really continue to focus on the man you want to be. And you'll notice it's foundational for the whole reset and what we visit the most on these calls. Okay.
No, that's been good. And I think just one win Like one of the biggest things is just taking the initiative to just make things happen. So, even today, I just said, I'd like to go do something fun this weekend. And so, I'd like to plan it if you're willing to go. And she agreed.
So don't do that. Next time, just be like, hey, I'm thinking of this or this. Which one do you want to do?
Okay.
Yeah. And then if she says, well, neither, you could still ask her. You're pretty early stages. So you could still ask her, right? And be like, is there something you did want to do? Or, but otherwise down the road, you'll play that by ear. Because sometimes you would compromise and sometimes you would still go do it. But we're not there yet. Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Okay.
And then down the road, guys, who knows? I personally could give a shit if I left my house. We did a big karaoke thing. You've probably noticed my voice made it all worse. I didn't get to sing. We did this weekend before, but I didn't really want to go. I couldn't go to karaoke with Catherine on the weekend. I had no voice. She really wanted to sing, so I went. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? But we're at a different stage than you right now, right? So just thinking down the road, like a lot of times you'll have your own things. A lot of times you won't. A lot of times it'll be compromised. And this is important for some of you who have completely different vibes than your wife. A lot of you have drifted so far apart, you don't even know who you are, what you like to do anymore. It's why you can start asking questions like, what do you even like now? Some of you need to figure out what your wife's favorite color is right now. You know what I mean? Where I know exactly what color she wants wrapped in her vehicle. I know exactly what color she likes for her tubes. I know exactly what, you don't even know which is her favorite color, right? So start with the basics and all this will make a lot more sense. Doing things like that, though, are good right now, okay? Providing structure, okay? Cool. All right, guys, we're running closely to out of time here. Let me just double check that. But go ahead, David.
Yes. Hi, Cass,
Hey.
and hi, others. I'm also like the previous gentleman that just spoke. I'm new to the group. Been married 20 years, together for 23, and my wife has said that she wanted a divorce, and in a way, it was kind of out of the blue for me. Because, like I said, I might have taken her for granted a little bit, just because in the ups and downs that we've had throughout our marriage, the constant is that we've always been there together. And that's what I mean by taking advantage of, advantage of her. So, she's been saying things like that I can be annoying at times. I can be suffocating. Just little things like that. I mean, we still communicate. We talk on a regular basis. We still live in the same home.
David,
like I said,
I hate to do this because you're just new to the group and introducing yourself, but you're going to intro yourself into Lords, and you're going to see that you're describing almost half the dudes here, right? Some of the things are every dude, like the suffocating thing. But I only have 6 minutes left before I have to get on another call. I just checked. So if you don't have a specific question, I'm going to get to the other questions, if that's cool.
Well, I do have a specific question.
Okay.
What are some of the things that I can do to make it like kind of an impact on not being annoying and suffocating?
Well, you're going to see that in modules 1, in modules 3, okay? And then module 2, you're going to be able to make more of an impact. That's why it's called Man with Impact. So I love to use that word. By allowing her, as she's feeling less suffocated, to feel more, which will, again, relieve the pressure. So it's just going through the steps. You'll see. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, even in module 4, then you're going to find that Man with Purpose, you're just going to be less suffocating because you got things to do, but not module 4, sorry, module 6. So there's just everything goes together and you just stack. Okay. Okay. Andy, go. Oh, you're muted, Andy. You do this every day now. What the heck, man? I know how much you're on Zoom.
My spacebar doesn't work, so I have to click the unmute button.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why. Just move on to Greg. I'll text you later today, actually.
Okay, Greg, go.
Oh, I was just gonna say a lot of new faces. Just wanted to say welcome to all the new guys.
Hey, I love it. Welcome, Lords. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that have been interested for a little while that took advantage of a Boxing Day thing. So we're all here, ready to rock and roll. Let's go get some wives. I love it. There's a couple of you today that talked about other programs. Thanks for sharing that. I think that it's important to know how different the reset is compared to some of these other programs out there. And so a lot of you that new faces also were in other programs and saw no results. So please continue to share that. What's missing, why it's different, what's missing in other programs versus why the reset's different. So appreciate you guys sharing that. It helps men from spending a lot more freaking money than they have to. Okay. Eric, go.
Yo, new to the group. Good
Welcome.
to be here. I've been digging into the content. I listened to the life coach, the only life coach that you need. That's about where I've stopped at. But that was a really good thing. So I'm going hard in it. I'm dedicated, reading the books. My wife had an emotional affair. I found out about it through a text message on her watch, trying to save it. I'm going to do everything I can. It's worth saving. She's had 1 foot out the door for quite a while, but I think she still has 1 foot left in. I've just done this so many times and had so much betrayal of me letting her down that it's going to be hard to gain her trust back, but I'll wait. I did it for so long. I guess my question would be patience. Man, I'm having a hard time with patience. I just want her to come back to me and choose me. I feel like she hasn't chosen me for such a long period of time. And I need her affection and her love. That's, what I live for, but that's been out of our marriage for a long time. So I'm just struggling with being patient right now and giving her the time instead of fucking texting her all the time and just overcompensating, buying her gifts, trying to overcompensate in so many ways. I really am struggling with the patience to work through the program and try to do this the right way, which is really just working on me and change for myself, and everything else will probably work itself out.
Yeah, you just have to rationalize it like that, but give yourself a chance to get through the program, right? If you think about being paid, I can't remember, by the way, you were in TBH, I think, weren't you? Or a different program? Like you've been changing for growing. Oh, you weren't. Okay, you weren't one of the guys.
This is the only program I've ever done.
Okay, so the reason why I say that is because a lot of times we get frustrated, even in this program. If you got a wife that's super hard to deal with, she's super aggressive, super whatever, or even like in your experience, she's Kelly was talking earlier, his wife not wanting to, get back together. The challenging part is when you grow, then you get to we have to try not to look down on her because she's growing at a different rate. She's reflecting at a different rate. You're in an actual program. But so I want you to look at it like that. When I grow, I have to work hard not to look down on her and have a different kind of patience. If that's the case, then I can't be frustrated if I'm just starting my growth journey, right? So the more and more you learn from each lesson in each man, in each pillar, take those reflections, go, well, if I was doing that for a long time, and then think about the patience formula. And remember, we can't choose what hurts her, right? What triggers her. And then the only thing is, when there's affairs, sometimes we can and if she's super mean or vicious, it can be easy to kind of fall into, well, I don't do this and she does that. And you're just stuck in that nice guy triangle, right? So remember, just right now, it's just learn, absorb, reflect. And then the more you realize there's all these things I could have done differently and it's not your fault. And I'm taking responsibility now, and it's not your fault ever. It depends on the examples you were shown, right? But the more this logically comes out instead of the emotions coming out, it'll make more sense and you'll be able to make real decisions, right?
Plenty of it's my fault for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The other struggle is I'm fucking so mad about the affair. And then at the same time, I want to save my marriage and have her come back. So it's these things are crossing each other. And
have you gone through Man with Impact yet? Probably no way possible. No.
I think I'm through. I think I'm in Man with Impact.
So right now. I have to go, but I want to just end with this. If you can think about it like this, I understand that morals are an issue. I understand that she should know better than cheating. She could have been responsible enough to end it, for example. Have a conversation that I'm thinking about talking to this guy that smiled at me. But nobody does that. And if you understand why, it's because there was no safety in the first place. See, if we didn't make her safe, we didn't protect her, we just attacked her. Well, she just went where it was safe. Just own it. Just own it. Doesn't mean it's not like something we won't address later. But any man who gets his wife back from another man, seriously, if she's doing it right, doesn't care. Remember Corey, guys? Corey's wife sent me the most beautiful message a couple days ago. I got to put it on the website. Not a couple days, a couple weeks ago. Like how much in love they are, how happy they are. Big so much thank you. It's like 6 months since she's been home after living with the other guy. Corey was angry. Corey got over it, said there was a lot of things I was doing wrong. Corey used the reset. Corey got his wife back. Corey says they're fucking like teenagers. Yes, the insecurity's still there, but it's not bad. It's not hard. They're working through it. And that was months ago when he said that. That was March, I think. So I haven't even checked with him now. All I know is his wife sure is damn pleased, which means if she's telling me, going out of her way to talk to me, then he's feeling just freaking fine home. You know what I mean? Fair?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. I've got to let you go. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Recording.
See you guys. Thank you.